So we're going to bring on our next guest. And it's funny, this guest is kind of funny the way I ended up inviting her to be on the show because I have been Facebook friends with her for a long time. And, she's always posting. And I don't know if she left her computer or not because she's not clicking the camera or the sound. So maybe there we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Okay, she's now clicking in. But she posted about books and I got in my mind that she was an author because she's always, we authors post about our books. That's what we do. I thought she was an author.
About our books.
And she's not an author, but she's an avid reader. And I posted how many books I was planning to read for this year, and she put me to shame with her number. Because
how did you read?
I said 30. She said some ungodly number in the hundreds. So
you read 100 books this year?
What number? No, what number did you say, Jennifer, that you're reading for this year?
I set my goal for 350 books this year.
So what I want to know is how in the world do you do this? Are you a speed reader? Are you listening to the books? And how do you decide 350 books that you want to read for a year? Because, a lot of books get released, but deciding what you want to read, how do you do this?
What I do, sometimes I go by Amazon, sometimes I go by authors groups, sometimes I go by readers groups, and sometimes I go by TikTok. But most of the time, if I'm scrolling through Amazon and I see something interesting, if the cover pops out or if the synopsis sounds good or if the author is basically on Facebook and they're constantly promoting their book and I'm like, ooh, I love this cover, or they'll do a little sneak peek and I'm like, yes, I'm going to read this. And that's how I pick what I'm going to read.
Okay. Well, but
how do you have time to read all of these books?
Yeah.
I mean, is it a split between?
I go by readers groups.
I think something happened with the audio. Because you didn't freeze up, but the sound. Can you talk for a minute?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, okay. Okay.
What I do, because basically I'm retired, so I basically, read the majority. Sometimes after I do my housework and stuff, I'll read for the majority of the day. And sometimes I'll read at night too. Most of the time I read at night. So.
Okay. Well, that's a lot of books. That's a lot of stories. I'm sure they run together at some point.
Yeah, sometimes I take a break, and I didn't read as much after my mother passed in May of 2021. So I didn't read as many books. So like near the ending of 2021, I was like scrambling to meet my Goodreads goal, which I did. Because that year I had set the bar to like 700 books, and I did it like on the last day of 2021.
I'm still astounded because
me too.
Even if you break it up between audiobooks, ebooks, and physical books, that's still a lot of reading.
Yeah, I do. I've recently in the past couple of years got into audiobooks. I was used to mostly do ebooks and physical books, because if I go somewhere and my family gets on me all the time, I'm never without my Kindle in my tote bag, or at least 2 or 3 physical books everywhere I go.
Yeah, well, I'm with you because I take books with me. Like if I'm going to the doctor or if I'm going to be going somewhere and sitting for more than 10 minutes, I
I'm
have
gonna
a
be
book
reading a
with
book.
me.
Yeah, I'll be
I
reading.
don't
I'll be
like
reading a
wasting
book,
time.
or I like to do audiobooks because I tell Gwen all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I like to listen to audiobooks if I know I'm going to be on a long drive, or if I'm going to be exercising. I want to be listening to an audiobook. I've even gotten to a point if I know if I'm really concentrating on something at work, and I can listen to a book while I'm working on it because it helps me to just kind of decongest a little bit, or decompress a little bit.
Hmm. I know you've been telling me about it, and I now Angela Anderson said this is what she's in the comments in the chat. She says Jennifer is amazing. She is the queen of books, and she enjoys books in all 3 formats. So you got a fan out there, at least one, probably more. Now, are you in any
Fan of
book
Jennifer
clubs?
too, because Jennifer, we told Jennifer about the Black History Month Literary Weekend, and she said, "I'm not going to be able to make it because they have a huge event, which I'm sure she's going to tell us about." But she said, "I'm still going to promote your event."
Oh, okay. Now I didn't know that you had an event too. Oh, someone else said Myra Cook says she barely reads 1 book a month. So my goal for this year, because I'm in 2 book clubs, my goal for this year was 30 books. Because between promoting authors, producing this show, and being in 2 book clubs and writing, that's about what I can do. That's a stretch because I normally will read 2 books a month, more or less average. So I said if I do 30, then I'm more. And I'm actually at a good place because I started off strong. And so hopefully I'll make my goal. But see, I will put a book down. So see, that's the thing. My
I can't
30,
bring myself to put a book
oh,
down,
I
even if
put a book,
I don't know how Jennifer feels, but even if I'm
I
not
will
that
put a
crazy
book.
about the book, I still have to finish reading it because I really want to see it through.
Not me.
Are you a
What do you
DNFer?
think, Jennifer?
I'm gonna have to say, if the book doesn't grab my attention by the 3rd chapter, I will put it down. But sometime in the future, I'll come back to it.
Yeah, because
Okay, so you
sometimes
can take
at
a break
chapter
from it.
4 is when it picks up. Like right after you put it down, then people say, "Well, it picked up." So then I have done that where I started a book and then finished, and then I'll go back, like you said, in the future, and actually it was a good book. It just started a little slow because it doesn't have to like jump off the page of the first chapter, but it needs to go somewhere. Something needs to happen for me. Something needs to happen. But every reader has a different standard and different things they like. Now, are you in any book clubs?
I'm in quite a few book clubs on Facebook, and authors groups. But
Okay.
I'm not in a physical one.
Okay, where you like read a book a month and you all talk about it, or you in something like that.
Yeah.
Now, what's the Goodreads goal? Because I'm really not on Goodreads. I mean, my books are there and people rate them there. Not all of my books are there. I sometimes go there, but it's not like a destination for me, a frequent destination for me. So what's the Goodreads? Is there book reading challenges on are there book reading challenges on Goodreads, or what's going on with Good?
They recently started, but I set my goal this year for 350 books. So
Ah,
I'm already
that's a book a
74 books
day.
in.
Okay, that's
I'm
a book a
already
day.
74 books in.
Okay, so you're already ahead of the book a day because it hasn't been 74 days
She
in a
didn't
long
make she
time.
made me feel bad because I thought I was doing something with my little 3 or 4 books in January. But
Yeah, she's reading a book a day. I'll never be able to do that. 'Cause I just have I'm juggling too many balls. I'm doing, I'm doing too many different things. And each one requires a different like focus.
well, what are
So
your favorite types of books to read?
I was gonna ask her that next.
I love reading romance, well, contemporary romance. I love reading urban romance. I love reading erotica. I love reading women's fiction. I love reading some historical romance and some historical fiction.
Okay, so you don't read mystery. Do you like mysteries or
And I read some romantic suspense, but
okay, romantic suspense. Okay.
my my goal for the year too is to read outside of the genres that I normally don't read. So I'm gonna try to find a mystery in there. I can't do a thriller because I'm the type that after I read it, I'll dream about it. So I can't, really do a thriller.
Okay, yeah, I can understand. But some people, some of those thriller writers write them a little too well.
Yeah, yeah. Especially like I don't really like, and I read a couple. I don't like serial killer books. I don't like a book where it's a serial killer and they're plotting and planning how they're going to kill people and cutting them up and having them in the basement tied up. I don't like. I've read a couple, and those are the kind of books that can make you have a nightmare.
Yeah, so I try to stay away from them. People have been trying to get me to try them out, and I'm like, I don't know, because I know me, and I'll be jumping in my sleep after I'm finished. So I stay away from a lot of thrillers.
I
Yeah,
understand.
yeah. Now romances tend to be somewhat short in terms of length of book, so I can see getting through a romance a day because they tend to be
And
they're
novellas have
not 400 pages,
um,
you know.
popularity over the years. The novellas, the books that are about 100 pages or less.
Yes, they have increased in popularity. So when did you were you an avid reader as a child, or is this uh, a hobby you adopted as an adult?
I've been an avid reader since I was like 3 years old. I had to start school early for a speech issue because instead of me talking like right now, I used to sing my words together like the commercials on TV. So I had to start school early. So the speech therapist was telling my parents, well, have her read aloud a book or whatever. And we're going to work with her at the school as well. So that's how that came about. And then when I was 8, the summer that I turned 9, my mom's best friend gave her a huge trash bag full of the old Harlequin Silhouette Desire books. And I read that whole bag the whole summer.
Oh,
That whole summer.
really? At 9 years old?
Not 8, 9 years old. Because at the time it was just me and my brother. So I was the, nerdy type. I used to play school by myself and stuff like that. So when I discovered those books, they really did take me down a rabbit hole. And then I got my first library card. So I was reading Danielle Steele by the time I was 11, 12 years old. But
Okay.
I didn't start reading African American romances until like my mid 20s. And that's when I had discovered, Brenda Jackson, Beverly Jenkins, and all of that. And I just been hooked. And I'll be 53, Lord's willing, in September. So I've been reading.
I see.
Well, that's
But I guess, reading as much as you do, you kind of have a discriminating eye for stories. So what are some things that you feel make a successful story? What are some things that pop up in your mind?
Definitely the storyline, a good plot. Um, that's basically it for me. And like if it's a romance, a good, romance meeting, a meet cute, or whatever. That's what makes it for me.
Okay. Well, we
So it's
got a
all
lot
about
of
the story.
comments. This conversation is eliciting a lot of comments. Um, Lydia said her goal is to do 50, but this is a new acronym. You know, they have different acronyms for reading. The uh, TBR is to be read. So somebody has DNF. That means did not finish.
Right.
So Angela Anderson said, "I will DNF a book." Me too. If it doesn't grab me, I'll give it 50 pages. So more or less, because chapters can be different lengths. Some books have short chapters, and I think short chapters make a book go faster. But a good story makes a book go faster too. But I will DNF a book, and I have no guilt about it because I've already paid for the book. So if the author gets the credit for the royalty for the sale, and I
Well,
get
you have a point there. You bought the
yeah,
book, so the author gets the money. They're going to get their royalty. It
yeah,
doesn't matter whether you finish the book or not.
yeah, and I don't post bad reviews. Well, usually, rarely do I post a bad review. I only
Jennifer, do you
post
post reviews?
a good review. Yeah, do you post reviews, Jennifer?
Yeah, yes, I do. I haven't posted any in maybe like a week or so, but I do post them. I do reviews for Romance and Color that Wayne Jordan started, so I'm a senior reviewer with him.
Okay.
Um, I was reviewing on Amazon, and they banned me from reviewing because they said I had suspicious reviewing activity, which
What
I
does that
didn't.
mean?
Be-
Suspicious
which
review.
I
What does
didn't.
that mean, though?
I guess they were saying that I was getting kickbacks or whatever, which I wasn't. And I tried to fight it and whatever. So I just said, well, I'm not gonna worry about the reviews or whatever. And so I was sitting talking to my mom one day, and she was like, well, you shouldn't let that stop you from reviewing. You should do your own review blog. And I was like, okay, I said, I'll think about it. So I thought about it for maybe a few weeks, and then I was like, maybe I will start one. So that's when I started my Jenny's Cozy Book Corner review blog.
Okay.
So and I started that May of 20, May of 2020, because that's when Amazon banned me from reviewing, because I had an author, and the only reason I knew about it was I had an author message me on Facebook, and she was like, "Did you take my review away?" And I was like, "No, ma'am, I didn't." You know, and so I went on my Amazon account and I saw all my reviews were gone.
Wow.
And that's when I, reached out to him and I asked him, why was all my reviews gone or whatever. But that was the year I had read over 1,000 books, because they had sent me an email saying I could get 3 months of Kindle Unlimited for 99 cents. So I took the deal, and that's when I discovered so many indie authors and stuff. And so I was just going through their catalog and just reading all their books. And I was leaving reviews, but they were like short reviews, just saying how much I enjoyed the characters and the stories and stuff. And so when that happened in May of 2020, I was like, well, I didn't take the review away. So when I found that out, I made a post on my Facebook page, and I told all the authors, I said, if y'all are missing reviews, it's because Amazon banned me from reviewing. So if I review anything, I will, review on Goodreads.
Well, did you actually lose those reviews? I mean, for instance, did you type the review directly into Amazon so you didn't have a copy of the review, or do you keep copies of all your reviews?
I didn't keep a copy of the reviews. I was doing them through as soon as I finished the book, I would type my review up on Amazon and
Okay.
then, and submit it like that.
Wow. I didn't even know that that was a possibility, but I don't post that many reviews.
Yeah,
But
see, Jennifer had those people thinking she was getting kicked back because she was,
And
reviewing
I
a
wasn't
thousand
getting
books at
I
a time.
wasn't getting look, I wasn't getting a thing, just the
but how
pleasure
would
of
they
reading
know
that
that
book.
though? How
Well,
would they
that's
know that? I mean, how
yeah.
would they deduce that? Because you're not gonna say, "Hey, I'm getting the kickback." You're not gonna post that anywhere. So what would make them
What-
draw the conclusion? I didn't even know that was a possibility to get banned from reviewing. So I mean, not book reviews. Now I have
Yeah.
heard about people reviewing products, and I've heard, I don't know, and it's probably true that some companies will like have fake reviews, like on Yelp and places like that. They'll flood their competition with bad reviews. So I've heard about people
Mm.
doing that, and I'm like, you have to do all that.
Well,
You're not gonna have a good result. That's all. But
what
do you read? Somebody asked that.
oh, okay. I thought you were asking a question. I was just going to ask. So now, if there's an author who would like for you to review their book, like I'd love for you to review my books. What should they do?
They can reach out to me on my Facebook, my personal Facebook page, which is Jennifer L. Copeland, or they can go to my Jenny's Cozy Book Corner website, which is www.jennyscozybookcorner.wordpress.com,
Mhm.
and just do it that way, because I'm always visible on Facebook.
Yes, that's why I thought you went off.
I'm always visible. If I'm not sharing my grandkids or my kids, I'm definitely sharing authors' books and wishing them a happy release day on their new releases, audio or ebook or paperback or whatever.
Yeah, see, in my mind, I thought I had seen your name on a book. See, I had all conjured up all kinds of stuff in my mind just because you post so much. And I just knew you were an author. But I think it's good to have readers on because people who are avid readers can really give a good perspective and help some of the authors out there. Now, do you charge for reviews?
No, ma'am. I do them just because I love to read.
Oh, now you really
Not
about to
not
get
at
up there.
all.
Yeah. You maybe you should charge something. That could be a new side hustle. 20, you don't have to charge a lot, but if the with the amount of books you read, you could be racking up some real money. I'm just saying. Since they
I know.
banned you anyway, they already banned you on Amazon. So what do you have to lose?
I know my sisters and my two sons, they said the same thing. And one of my sisters was like, well, really all of my sisters, they're like, well, as much as you read, you should step in the author space. And I was like, I don't know about that. I said, I think I'm a better reader than a writer. And I actually, like, maybe a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I did try to pin something down, and then I read it back, and then it's still stuck in my journal. And I was like, no, I'm gonna stay out that author space and gonna be in this reader space.
But I
I
will
think
say
I thrive
that
better in the reader space.
I think sometimes one of the mistakes that we as people make is taking something that we enjoy doing and then turning it into a job. Sometimes we want to do something for the love of doing it. So if you just love to read books and you love to review books, then no, there's nothing wrong with sticking to that, because as soon as you start trying to monetize it and making it into a job, it's going to feel like a job and you're not going to want to do it as much. So sometimes it's okay to do things because you just love to do it.
Yeah, I just love to read, and I just love to support authors any way I can, because I love to see y'all shine. And if y'all gain a new reader because I've either shared your cover reveal, your link to your new book, your new release or whatever, and if you gained a new reader, then that's the joy in it for me,
Amen.
and that makes me happy.
Love that.
Well, we love that you've been on the show and to share your reading career. It's almost a career. As much books you read. Somebody asked, "Did you speed read?" That's what there was a question about.
Yeah, I was gonna ask that. Do you speed read?
No, no, ma'am. Depending on the length of the book, I can finish maybe two and a half books in a day's time.
Well,
Sometimes three. It just depends.
but you're a
You're
pretty
not a speed
fast
reader, you're just
reader.
a
If it's not
fast
a
reader.
speed, you're just a fast reader.
Yeah.
Well, that's amazing. And when I posted on my Facebook how many books everybody was reading, your number was definitely the highest by far. so so I thought, but I think I had already booked you to be on the show when I did that. I think, and you just
You
responded to me.
did.
Okay, so but I'm glad we got a chance to meet finally. You know, get to chat. And now when I see you on Facebook, I'll know that you are not an author, but you just love supporting authors. And we appreciate that so much. Because people aren't reading as much as they, the younger generations aren't as into reading. And so, the avid readers are really greatly appreciated. So now that you've said that you review books, I might consider sending you mine, but we'll see. And
Okay. No, no problem. I'll be glad to. Just let me know.
okay,
Because
I will.
I'm always at home unless I have a doctor's appointment or something like that. But I'm always at home, and even if I go somewhere, I always have my book and a Kindle with me. So
Love it. Love it.
That's great. Well, I will be reaching out to you soon.
All right. Well, thank you so much,
okay,
Jennifer, for being on the show. We really enjoyed
thank you
the
so much,
conversation.
And we
Thank you for
appreciate the
doing for
support.
us because we need more people like you.
Yes.
and thank you so much for having me.
Have a
Okay.
great night.